When it comes to apex predators of the ocean, one name immediately pops up: the great white shark. And while dolphins might not be at the very top of the food chain, they're definitely one of the most intelligent and agile creatures in the sea. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dolphins? Cute little flippers who do flips in movies? Yeah, they look adorable, but don't let that smile fool you. These guys are smart, social, and surprisingly deadly when they need to be. They might not be apex predators like sharks or orcas, but in a battle of brains, speed, and teamwork, dolphins have a few tricks up their fins. But honestly, in a one-on-one fight, the great white is basically the ocean's version of a tank versus a dolphin. Sorry, dolphin fans. So the real question is, how many dolphins would it take to defeat a great white shark? That's what we're here to find out. Grab your popcorn or, your snorkel gear, and let's dive in. Facts about the great white. This guy can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh up to 4,800 pounds. That's basically a small car swimming around. Sharks bite the worst, about 4,000 psi.
For context, that's like dropping a small car on your sandwich and then eating the sandwich anyway. Yum? Great whites are designed for killing. They have rows of serrated teeth that tear through flesh like scissors on a hot knife through butter. And here's a fun little terrifying fact. They can detect a drop of blood from up to 1/4 of a mile. So if you ever thought about swimming with sharks, maybe don't. But hey, don't worry, they mostly eat seals. You're probably safe. Facts about dolphins. Now, onto the dolphins. Bottlenose dolphins are actually brilliant and brutal when necessary. Their brains are huge compared to body size, making them one of the smartest animals on the planet. Dolphins have problem-solving skills, social hierarchies, and even signature whistles that function like names to identify and address specific individuals. A behavior first identified in bottlenose dolphins that's rare in the animal kingdom outside of humans. And don't underestimate their strength. Dolphins have been known to attack sharks with their snouts, ramming them repeatedly. And when I say repeatedly, I mean coordinated group attacks. These guys literally team up like the Avengers, except wetter and with more sonar. All right, time for the size check. A bottlenose dolphin, up to about 13 feet long, 4 meters, and up to 1,400 pounds, 650 kilograms. So in a straight-up fight, one-on-one, the dolphin is like trying to punch out Mike Tyson while wearing a pool noodle costume. Not great odds. One dolphin versus great white equals bad idea. But here's where it gets interesting. Dolphins aren't exactly lone wolves. They have pods. They work together. And when they do, things get interesting. How dolphins use teamwork. Dolphins are masters of collaboration. In the wild, when threatened by sharks, they'll circle, distract, and ram the shark's gills or underbelly. Why the underbelly? Well, it's the softest spot. Sharks are like armored tanks, except they forgot to put armor on the stomach. Classic mistake. Reports show that even a small pod of 2 to 3 dolphins can fend off or even kill smaller sharks. But what about a massive great white? That's a different story. Estimating how many dolphins it takes. Scientists and oceanographers estimate that to even have a chance against a full-grown great white, you'd need a pod of 6 to 10 dolphins coordinating attacks. And that's just for a medium-sized adult shark. For the really massive ones, you'd probably want a full-scale dolphin SWAT team of over 10 at least. That's a lot of dolphins. Basically, it's like trying to win an arm wrestling contest against The Rock by recruiting everyone from your high school gym class. Good luck coordinating all of that. But hey, dolphins are smart and excellent at teamwork, something not all humans can claim. The key advantage here is intelligence and teamwork. The shark's raw power is unmatched, but it doesn't strategize. Dolphins do. They can outmaneuver, tire, and attack collectively. It's basically brains versus brawn, with a side of fins and a dash of sonar. Strategy of dolphins. So how would it go down?
First, the dolphins would circle, confusing the shark. Then, they'd take turns ramming the shark's underbelly and gills. It's exhausting work. This is not a casual swim. Over time, the shark gets tired, blood gets drawn, and eventually, the dolphins might force the shark away or even kill it. Real-world examples. In real life, dolphins have been observed taking down smaller sharks, like sandbar sharks, or defending themselves against tiger sharks. There's even footage of dolphins ramming sharks repeatedly until the shark leaves the area. This proves that while sharks are deadly, dolphins have evolved clever survival strategies that rely on brains, teamwork, and speed. Of course, no one wants to see a literal great white versus dolphin brawl in the ocean. Nature usually avoids it. But the fact that dolphins can take down sharks at all is pretty impressive. It's like watching a tiny ninja squad defeat a giant toothy ogre, but wet. Takeaway. So let's sum it up. One-on-one, the great white wins every time. It's bigger, stronger, and has the ultimate killing machine design.
But in numbers, dolphins have a fighting chance. Teamwork, intelligence, and strategy could give a pod the edge, especially if they're smart about targeting weak spots. And let's be honest, dolphins are basically the ocean's Navy SEALs. Sharks are more like that tank you never want to meet on a lonely road. Pick your battles wisely. So next time you see a dolphin doing flips in the ocean, remember, that little show-off might just be planning tactics for the next great white encounter. Cute? Yes. Deadly? Absolutely. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into oceanic smackdowns, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Would you bet on a pod of dolphins or just stay on the beach? Until next time, keep swimming smart.